Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joy at Work. It's June 19, 2020. It's Juneteenth. That's fantastic. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. I just want to remind you if you enjoy the content, have feedback, please don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel. And even if you don't subscribe, I just like getting feedback and thoughts. I got a lot of feedback on my last two videos, actually. And my video from last week, I'll be sharing some thoughts on the feedback I got next week. But this week is the week to talk about Juneteenth, and we'll do that here in a second. But I just gotta say, I'm excited that the Premier League is back. Not a great start for the Gunners, but still back and empty stadiums, that's okay. It's kind of a sign that life is going back to normal and we can begin to look a little bit normal as well too. So just happy about that. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe and taking care of yourself. All right, so Juneteenth. Wow, this is different this year, isn't it? Um, it's something that I've paid attention to for a number of years now, but this year it's definitely has a different feel to it. We've probably seen what corporations are doing. I think Amazon encouraged, Jeff Bezos encouraged everyone to cancel meetings today and take some time to talk about history, inclusion, diversity, and a number of other corporations are doing things in different ways. If I'm not mistaken, some organizations might have even made today a holiday. So, wow. I mean, say what you want to say about how we got here and who was involved, and that's quite honestly missing the point. We're at a place right now where we're willing to have, at least some people are willing to have dialogue on some really tough issues. And it's not going to make everybody comfortable. Like that's the thing people don't get about this thing. Like if you're having a conversation about people and everyone is probably comfortable, then you might not be having a real conversation. And now I think we're having real conversations and getting to the root of many things. And these are complex problems that can't be solved by a checklist, but they definitely cannot be solved by not talking about it. So, talking about it and taking action, right? Talk and action, espouse values, and then what we do, the knowing doing gap. We need to close that and actually get things done. We need to be able to say, yep, this is what we said we would do, and we've done it. My grandfather always used to say, he still says, you know, it's not enough to just talk with your mouth, right? Put your money in it. And there's an American saying around that too, basically to just engage fully if you're gonna be behind a cause. So again, real good stuff going on at this time. Difficult stuff, but still good. If you don't know the history of Juneteenth, you should probably check it out. Um, I think you should. It's one of those fascinating things where even though the Proclamation of Emancipation was given, 2 years earlier, I believe, just January 1st, 1863, if my history serves me right. It wasn't until June 19th, 1865, making this 155th a year, that slaves in Texas heard about what had happened and were actually able to free themselves, if you will. So 2+ years before the news got to them. There are a whole bunch of stories on why this happened, but this is why June 19th is such a special day in the history of Black Americans in this country. And it's an important day. It's a day to talk about these things, it's a day to reflect upon these things. I've been thinking a lot about that famous George Bernard Shaw quote that says, the reasonable man or woman adapts him or herself to the world. Uh, the unreasonable man or woman adapts the world to themselves. Therefore, progress is dependent on the unreasonable man or woman. And it's very easy to take that quote out of context and simply say, I've got to get everybody to conform to what I want them to conform to. But in the broader context of what George Bernard Shaw was talking about there, he was really looking at things that are not the way they need to be things that go against our collective sensibilities, right? The things that we know are not ideal. Those things often require the unreasonable person to go after them and to make progress. And so if you look at every major movement in history, it's somebody who went against what was the current trend or what was seen to be or deemed to be, excuse me, the way to go. And even at that time, right, it might have been easier to conform than to challenge the system in a respectful way. So, what's going on right now, I wouldn't consider unreasonable, but I do think people who are saying let's have this conversation can come across as being unreasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable at all. I think it's the right conversations to have, and this is the right time to have those conversations. So I don't know what you're going to do today, being June 19 or Juneteenth. I don't know what your plans are or what you're going to do. But again, if you're about social justice, if you're about racial justice, if you're about equality, then this might be an opportunity to have a conversation, talk about how or what you can do in your little corner of the world to make things better for those who might not look like you, talk like you, sound like you, pray like you, do whatever like you. This is as good a day to make a commitment to start doing that. So great to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, we'll be back to talking about things like identity and stuff like that. But enjoy Juneteenth and have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.